What's up, guys? It is Monday, August 26th, 2024. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about season-long prize picks players that I'm targeting and that you should target too. And if you're on VIP, I'm going to send out some big plays. I put down $500 to win $4,500 on a lot of the players that you're going to see in this video. Well, I think maybe most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. These are going to be free picks, so these are just some guys that I really like. And I love season-long picks because you put your money in once and you enjoy it for months. You get entertained for months. And ultimately, even if you lose, you're getting so much out of it. Now, I will say, if you have a smaller bankroll, if you're dead broke, there's nothing wrong with that. But season-long's probably not for you. It's really for my guys who are making money at their job, have a nice bankroll stacked up. Maybe you were on the VIP last year and you've got 10 grand going into this season. Maybe throw down $500 on futures, okay? So I'm not just doing season long on prize picks, but I'm doing it on sports books as well. I'll have a separate video for that. I'm putting down around $100,000 on my futures, okay? Prize picks limits me to smaller amounts, but I'm getting down as much as I possibly can. Okay, so I'm not like these other guys here on YouTube that are basically content creating for a living. I'm actually living this life, and I'm documenting it, and I'm educating, and that's the goal of my channel. So if you want to ride with someone who's really putting their money where their mouth is, hit that fucking subscribe button. Let's get into it, okay? If you don't have Prize Picks, the app looks like this. Go to the App Store, get it. It's legal in all the gold states on this map. Use promo code SBE. I highlighted it there for you, SBE. And they're going to give you $50 for free just when you put in your first $5 entry. So you get the $50 instantly. All you got to do is put $5 on something. And I'll give you a play right now to put it on. So the first player I'm targeting is going to be quarterback Jackson Arnold. Now, the reason that I love Arnold so much is because I've been watching this podcast called Red Dirt Media. I think that's the name of it. And it's a couple of the Oklahoma receivers that are on the podcast. It's Nick Anderson and then some random player. I mean, he might be a player, but I just don't recognize him. And they've been hyping Jackson Arnold up. They tell some of the stories, the practice stories behind the scenes. And, you know, I'm looking at this Oklahoma team, and I'm thinking, like, Dillon Gabriel just took them to where they were just one game away from the college football playoff. And it's weird that they would run him out of town to go to Oregon, right? And it's because they believe in Jackson Arnold so much. Now, Oklahoma also went out and they brought in, I think it's Deion Burks. They brought in a receiver in the transfer portal from Vanderbilt or Purdue. I get those schools mixed up sometimes just because the gold and black. But they go out, they bring in a stud receiver. They're bringing Jabril Farouk back, and they're bringing my boy Nick Anderson back. Now, I like Nick Anderson to have a big season, but honestly, Oklahoma is one of those teams where they have multiple weapons for Arnold to spread the ball around. And I'm just going to stick to his passing yards. Oklahoma also went out, and they brought in 4 transfer portal offensive linemen, and they brought in 2 transfer portal tight ends. Now, look, just because someone's coming in from the transfer portal doesn't mean they're good, but you look at all 6 of those guys, they're either year 4 or deeper. So they're older dudes. They're getting close to their mid-20s. All right? They're getting older and they're more experienced. So they have good protection for Jackson Arnold. And Oklahoma's defense has always been the weak point of that team. So I think they're going to throw the ball. They're going to have to air it out in games they win and in games that they're playing from behind. The games that they might be losing against these top schools in the SEC. LSU is going to be an insane game. I mean, games like that, he might get 500 yards in a game like that against LSU. It might be like Baker Mayfield versus Mahomes, Texas Tech and OU. It might look like that. So I love Jackson Arnold. I don't know if there was any other reasons that I'm forgetting, but man, love Jackson Arnold, okay? There's a lot of players out here that I like as well, but I'm going to save some of them for VIP. I'm going to go to the receivers now. So next up is going to be one of the receivers that our boy Dillon Gabriel, who transferred out of OU, is throwing to. And it's going to be Tez Johnson. Now, Tez Johnson, last year, he went out and got about 1,080 yards. I think he just got under 1,100 yards. So he got well over this number last year. and that was with Bo Nix throwing to him. But Bo Nix was also throwing to Troy Franklin, okay? So Tez is going to be that receiver 1. Evan Stewart's going to be the receiver 2. Tez has been at Oregon. He's coming back. He's their guy. And if he can go over this mark as their receiver 2, I think he can go over it as their receiver 1. Love the way Dan Lanning coaches these guys. I love the way they play, and they just air it out. And if you look at what Tez did in that game against Liberty, their bowl game, the first game he played without Troy Franklin, he went off for like 165 yards. So I love that. And that actually reminds me what I was going to say about Jackson Arnold is he only got to play in 2 games last season. One was a blowout. He threw 11 for 11 completions, 100% completion rate. And then he got the bowl game against Arizona. When he played the bowl game against Arizona, he threw 3 interceptions. But he also threw for over 400 yards. For me personally, I like to see him throwing for all those yards in one game. Because if he has a game like that, I don't care if he throws interceptions. He's going to throw for a ton of yards. That's all I need him to do. Get to 3,000 yards. I think it's a great pick, man. These 2 right here, love them. But you know what I love a little bit more? This is my favorite play right here. If I had to pick one play on the board, it would be my favorite receiver in college football, McMillan. And not Jalen McMillan from UW. I'm talking about the Arizona McMillan, who's not related, unfortunately. I looked it up. I was hoping they were related. So that this dude is 6'5", and I was shocked to see he was 6'5" because he runs around like a dude that's 6'1". He looks so athletic and quick, and he actually got 185 yards in that Alamo Bowl game. He got an insane amount of yards, over 150. If it's not exactly 185, it's over 150. Got an insane amount of yards. I put him out as a VIP pick in that game. It was on, I think it was on like December 26th, maybe, something like that. And he hit that in the second quarter. It was the quickest I've ever seen someone hit their over. And his quarterback at the end of the season, Fafita is getting to play the full season this year. So the other guy transferred out of Arizona, so it's Fafita's team. And he's a lot of people's sleeper pick to win the Heisman this year. And if you look at what McMillan did the last 4 weeks of the season with Fafita thrown to him, it was insane. He was averaging like 10 receptions a game. It was just crazy, guys. Like, if there's one pick that you put into your lineup on Prizepicks, it's McMillan right here. I think he'll lead all of college football in receiving yards. I don't know if I can bet on that on a sports book, but if I can, I'm going to take that. I think McMillan will lead the whole NCAA in receiving yards this year, which isn't really going out on a limb. The only person projected more than him here is Burden. But, dude, this Arizona team is going to be fun to watch, okay? So, next up, there's a lot of good players here. But the one that I want to bring to your attention is Xavier Restrepo. And the reason why is because Restrepo had Tyler Van Dyke thrown to him last year, and he was extremely reliable. He hit this number easy. He got over 1,000 yards. But Van Dyke only threw for 2,700 yards. Van Dyke wasn't very good, honestly. He's out of there now. Cam Ward is in for the Hurricanes. I think Miami is going to win the ACC. I'm going to bet a ton of money on that. And you'll see that in my futures video. But with Cam Ward threw for 3,700 yards last year. So we're talking about replacing a quarterback that threw for 2,700 with a guy that threw for 3,700. You see where I'm going with this? And Restrepo hit this number last year with the guy that threw for 2,700. It's an easy play right there. You know, you look at the board and you see different things. It's hard to guess who's going to get the ball. It's hard. Kyron Lacey, Zachariah Branch, it's hard because you don't know if they're really going to be the receiver 1 at USC or LSU. But Restrepo was the receiver 1 last year. He's going to do it again this year, guys. McMillan was the receiver 1 last year. McMillan has the same quarterback this year, so that's why it's my favorite play. But I can safely assume with an upgrade at quarterback, Restrepo will still be the guy in Miami. I can assume with Tez, Dylan Gabriel is a pretty equal quarterback to Bo Nix. I would rather have Bo Nix, but Gabriel's still a top 10 college football quarterback, guys, and he's got more experience than anyone else out there. So we can assume that Tez is going to hit his number here. Jackson Arnold, that's the biggest wild card that I'm giving y'all, but all the signs point to him having a phenomenal year, yardage-wise. I'm not talking about wins and losses, not talking about touchdown to interception ratio. I'm talking about yards. Jackson Arnold is a guy we can trust. So, these 5 plays right here, I'm going to try to do 25 bucks on this. You know what? If you're new to the channel, check this out. I'll put 100 on it. And look at what happens to me, man, when I try to do this. Maximum lineups are $5 right now. Sometimes they let me do 25 when it's like a off thing, like college football season long. But I can only do 5. The reason I can only do 5 is because I won so much money on Prizepicks. They limit me to $5 now. So, cowards. But those are 5 plays for you guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I just want to let you guys know that college football lines are being released. I'm going to send out my best college football season long stuff with my best college football week 1 stuff this weekend. The way you guys can get on board is go to winnable.com/SBE and get the college football week 1 pass. It's $200, and I'm also putting a guarantee behind it if we do not profit from Thursday all the way to Monday. That's when the games are, and there's a ton of games. If we don't profit, you get the entire month of September for free. So if we don't profit, I will keep sending you plays till September 30th, and I'm 95% profit, 95% confident that I'm going to profit, okay? I was going to say 95% profitable. I was like, what the hell does that mean? But I'm 95% sure I'm going to profit. There's a chance that, shit gets fucked up. But the way I do it is I put out about 50 plays. We only need to win like 2 or 3 to profit, depending on the payouts. It's a lot of 20x stuff. There's definitely going to be some 100x stuff in there. And it's to be honest, guys, this might be the best weekend my VIP ever is. No bullshit. The reason I say that is because we have Prizepicks and we have better. Last year we were really just working off Prizepicks and Underdog. Then Underdog changed their rules, and we just had Prizepicks to ride out the rest of the season. This year we have better and Prizepicks and some other stuff too. So I'm feeling real good about this. So I'm going to build quite a bit of entries, probably about 50 of them or so. And we're going to just go fucking ballistic week 1. So it's not the perfect slate, but there's some really good games out there. And the more I learn about these teams, the more I identify who's the receiver 1, receiver 2, better off we'll be. So I got to go, but thank you for watching. Good luck with all your picks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.